April, the month where van drivers mistook bike lanes for demolition derbies. Join us for a scenic ride through chaos, featuring the legendary Wind Street, surprise attacks from side roads, passes close enough to check tire pressure, and an illegal e-bike auditioning for Mad Max. It's like a driving test, if everyone failed spectacularly. You get comfy and I'll get on with it. Working together is key. And I'm happy to do so. I see the van slow for the traffic emerging from the left and I follow suit. Best flow for everyone. Now I sound like Ashley Neal. This chap ran the red but then decided to park it in the cycle lane at the same time. I see you creeping, only now as I pass, no indicator though. I'm not a mind reader. Would you look at that, not one illegally parked motorist at Lincoln bus station. I can only imagine why. Here's a good example of the H2 rule being used. I'm on a shared cycle path and footpath, and this driver sees me coming and slows. Thanks buddy, much appreciated. And here's a good example of the ignorance of some of Lincoln motorists. Coming out of Waterside North and onto Melville Street, motorists rarely check their left for the more vulnerable road users. Could it be they're only watching for motorized traffic from the right? Of course it is. This one purposely blocks the pedestrians after almost removing my rear wheel. Optional mirror use and a "have I been seen" moment. I should have been seen. I have a yellow high visibility jacket on as well as my front and rear lights. I see the motor has mirrors. And the driver now has 3 more points on their license. The last time this happened it ended up as the thumbnail for the video. Not as close this time, but still awarded points and a small fine for their lack of due care and attention. Me? Petty? Never. Nothing petty about this one. No indicator. Wrong side of the road and too fast. Not to mention the oncoming cyclist with a camera. I hope his building skills are better than his driving skills. It's a one-way, mandatory, cycle lane. And here are a couple of feral crotch goblins that should really be on a leash for their own safety. No doubt the produce of some first-class parenting. What will we find on this shared cycle path, footpath, I wonder? A no helmet, no brakes, and no chill, illegal e-biker. It looks like he's late for his Mad Max cosplay. Someone give that guy a movie deal, or at the very least a license. Waterside North, eastbound. 2 lanes at either end, but merged into one through the majority. There's usually at least one idiot here. Either speeding or passing too closely. Whoa. He's doing the double. He deserves double the fine for that one. We're back on Wind Street. Otherwise known as the Gauntlet. Here, mirrors are optional, blind spots are ignored and giveaway signs are just for decoration. Unlike most, this driver pulls as far to one side as possible and slows at the same time. I appreciate the corner must be awkward to see around as much as I appreciate the space. Fix your error like this driver and I've no need to report it. Let's just stay on the Gauntlet for now. See how I'm more than happy to give way and wait my turn. And see how I get frustrated with this sort of behavior from motorists. Just how ignorant, impatient, and dangerous are some of Lincoln's drivers. Watch this and see. You'll also see how I won't be intimidated. Touch the bike, I'll be reporting a road traffic accident. You'll just drive off? A hit-and-run report instead then. I will stand my ground and let the motorist incriminate themselves. I literally just have to do nothing at all. It's not always an Audi, but it's usually likely. The Wynn Street Gauntlet. Again. And further up the road, this driver clearly knows nothing of the highway code, even throwing a hand up as if the confusion of it all was too much for their tiny little mind. The driver behind likely knows that it's not a tiny little fine for driving dangerously and threw a smile and wave. There's room for the driver to stay on their side fully, until I have passed. At the last opportunity she speeds up and stops beside me. "Are you all right?" she asks, presumably because I stopped. "I am," I replied, "but you might not be when the prosecution notice drops through the door next week for your reckless driving." It's 50-50 lately as to the white van man being a geezer or a moron. This one is a moron and a couple of £100 lighter after this attempt to despawn me just because cutting the bend is quicker. Dude, it's so much less expensive when I'm not in the way. April's A Moron of the Month award goes to this special little sausage. There's a giveaway or yield sign and floor markings, but that doesn't stop this moron pulling out like it's late for a pizza delivery in 1993. No turn signal or clue to what they're about to do, which is race the oncoming van to the corner. They didn't see me until the last second because their focus was the van over everything else. Exiting Wisby Village. Many drivers exit the roundabout far too quickly. And this van driver is no exception, executing this move with the grace of a tranquilized elephant and only just getting onto their own side of the road before buzzing by. We'll hop onto the cycle path and across the A46 bypass. Now, where would be a good place to stop for a chat along here? These guys think it's the center of the left lane. Watch the Mini behind almost demonstrate why they are both complete fuckwits. Joggers on a shared cycle lane and footpath. I'll sit back as the guy on the right there is happy to step out into the road without looking. Kudos to his mate who drags him back on the footpath. We all gotta take care of our special little friends. And here's our final, special little sausage. Who's actually a pickle? A deaf one too, headphones on, can't hear my bell, shouting or yelling. You're responsible for your own safety before I am. Stay on the footpath, don't be a pickle. April brought out the best, and the worst, on Lincoln's roads. But moments like this remind us, a little patience and courtesy go a long way. Ride safe. Drive kind. See you next time.